like that. Yeah, one of the things, and you've highlighted so well here about jiu-jitsu, and one of the reasons why it's so hard to categorize and organize your game in general is that there's just so many variables. There's so many variables, and it can be overwhelming even for advanced practitioners to really concretely have their game in place in their mind. With that said, we were talking about the way that people learn. What do you feel is the most effective way to track progress once you've learned something? Like once you understand a concept or a technique, how do you encourage your students and people that you teach at seminars to track their progress as they develop these skills?
The easiest way to track progress is are the techniques that you've been working on are they working? Are they effective for you? Are you getting the job done? Meaning you're working a sweep. Are you sweeping people? You're working a submission. Are you submitting people? And that should work fairly consistently for, especially if you're going against a guy that's similar to your level. If something works for 3 to 6 months, you've done a good job. You've adopted that technique. The problem becomes eventually that guy will develop some counters, maybe just, starts to defend earlier, and then you start to go into those follow-ups. One thing that I encourage people in the seminars and camps, and this is one of the things I think people want to get the biggest bang for their buck, is to learn everything. You can't. The problem is pick up the techniques that are most relevant to where you are in the stage of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu development you're at today. To some extent, I think systemization of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is an amazing thing. I think it's contributed. I believe the level of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the technical level and sort of the dissemination of information is growing tremendously. And BJJ Fanatics had a huge hand in it. Is growing tremendously. But sometimes systemization means it's like it becomes a little oversimplification, meaning that, okay, it's either this, and if it's not, you go like from point A to B to C. Well, sometimes you go from A to G. Or sometimes you go from A to not even alphabet, you go to 1.
Yeah, sure.
The numerical values. So I think it's and this is why I like the idea that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is an art, because yes, I think it's good to bring in scientific methods and understand the engineering principles of structure, why this is such a strong structure, so your legs don't burn out. You could hold this for a long time. That's important. But at the end of the day, it's art which allows people to really go outside the realm of science, to almost to sort of you want to be a cubist, be a cubist. You want to be an impressionist, be an impressionist. You want to be a sculptor, be a sculptor. And so I coming back to sort of when people go to seminars or class, just have a goal of learning a couple of things. If you can pick up, I don't know, BJJ Fanatics DVD, let's say at a price of $100, it's on sale at $50. Listen, if I could pick up one thing out of a $50 purchase towards my game, I'm happy with it. For somebody that's a blue belt, they need to get more than that, more than one. But, a blue belt should, if they pick up 5 significant things out of that, that's a good purchase, because, people don't for example, my home where I grew up is Renzo Gracie Academy, and jiu-jitsu wise at least. And, for decades I've been commuting in, at the end of the day, when you do the numbers, I spent $10,000 in 1 year, not just 1 year, but per year for multiple years. Wow. Not for tuition, only for the commuting costs, just commuting costs alone.
Wow.
$10,000, just to give you an idea, guys. So when you think that somebody's DVD, I'm not saying buy my stuff, buy other guys' stuff. If there's a teacher that resonates with you, buy his stuff, because it's going to make you easier learning. But if you think spending $200, $300, $50, man, $10,000, and I did it for years. Just commuting costs, just to cross the GW Bridge, Lincoln Tunnel, that was $15. Parking in the city, $30. Mileage, gas, which, that was it. And then you do that often enough, it adds up. But again, it goes back to what is important to me.